Hey there, viewers, subscribers, friends, family. RPG Master 95 here, doing another video review for you. Today I'll be reviewing Tales of Symphonia: Dawn of the New World for the Nintendo Wii. This title is rated T for Teen and is a role-playing adventure where you have two main characters, Emil and Marta, on an adventure to, guess what? Dun dun dun! Yeah, they're gonna save the world. This game takes place 2 years after the events of the original Tales of Symphonia, in which things didn't end quite so happily ever after, which we'll talk about more when I hit the story section. But first, let's start off with some other departments. Let's do graphics. How did the graphics do for this game? As you can see, the world and characters are full 3D, and everything looks good and moves good. You know, I mean, no, it's not going to blow your mind and push your Wii to its limits like, say, Metroid Prime 3 Corruption or Mario Galaxy did. But, you know, I mean, it basically looks like a GameCube version that was cleaned up a little bit. And I'm fine with that for this particular title. The attacks look cool, and it's entertaining. And, you know, for the situation it was called for, comfortably give it an 8.5 out of 10, or, you know, B+. Yes, they could have been better. Yes, it's an obvious area they could have improved the game in, but it gets the job done. Nothing looks bad. Next on my agenda is the audio, which unfortunately is a weak point for this title. You've got tracks, musical tracks returning from the original Tales of Symphonia, mixed in with a few new ones, and nothing really stands out there. I mean, it's all just kind of background music. Nothing is awesome and nostalgic unless you're really obsessed with the music from the original, in which case, kudos. I guess this is good for you. The sound effects, they're there, they get the job done. Cling clang, you know, boom bang, you know. But again, nothing stands out, which is unfortunate, because in a day and age where amazing music and realistic sound effects can further immerse you into a video game's world, you know, this one just really dropped the ball on that one. I can salvage the score of audio a bit with the voice acting, which thankfully was well casted, and people delivered their lines well and effectively. For the most part, it was pulled off pretty good, and it definitely didn't detract from the game experience. You know, sound effects, music, gonna get like a 7.5, a C somewhere in there, whereas the voice acting gonna be back up in the 8.5 range. Add that all up and you get something in the C+. If you stretch it, you get a B-. Now, gameplay, I'm going to start off on a high note. The combat, for those unfamiliar with it, it's real time. You're not choosing commands from menus. You're actually moving your character around, blocking, performing attacks, combos, special attacks, jumping. It's awesome. You have up to 4 party members in battle at a time, and you control one directly. The others you assign a stereotype, such as use mana up until this point, or attack this enemy that I'm attacking, defend me, whatever. Unfortunately, these stereotypes are very limited. There's only a couple, and so you're basically just hoping your allies do the right thing, telling them, you can directly tell them to heal you, and other than that, you get in there and you hammer the enemy to the best of your ability. It's fun. There have been some improvements over the original Tales of Symphonia, such as being able to move completely free-form in the battle. This allows you to defend and attack more adequately, adds to the action, which is very fast-paced for those unfamiliar with it. Now, there's a new monster system, which is fun. In fact, I gotta do this. Yeah, that just happened. So you've got these monsters, which because of a plot element or two, you're able to have join your party. They level with you, they fight with you, you can have them evolve, you cook meals for them, they learn special moves which you can use in combat. It's cool. Your other party members, not so cool. You'd think it would be awesome to have the original Tales of Symphonia cast playable in this game. Unfortunately, though, they don't level with you. Instead, they have their own leveling system, which is, you know, basically driven by the plot. And also, they're capped at level 50, so for harder difficulties, yes, this game has different difficulty levels. They're useless in harder difficulties. You can't change their equipment. You know, what is this? I don't know. It's like backwards fan service. They're like, hey, here's your characters. We're going to take them away and just let you think they're cool, and mainly you're going to interact with them in the story. So, Anyways, unfortunately, outside of combat, the game is extremely linear, gameplay-wise. The dungeons, they're lame. I don't like the dungeons in this game. You know, they're basic puzzle solving. And you even, on most dungeons, have to backtrack out of there after you get whatever it is or see whoever it was you came for. That's lame. I don't want to do what I just did, but backwards. Talk about just trying to add hours to the gameplay. Anyways, you've also got, you know, in every town there's going to be better equipment. There's no strategy to getting new equipment. Also, the world map is, you know, explorable world map has been replaced by point and click, or even quicker, simpler, more dumbed down. Use the analog to simply scroll between locations, and poof, you're there. Thankfully, the world map does look a little bit pretty. But gameplay-wise, unfortunately, combat alone can't save this because of how much you're out of combat, how linear equipment is, your characters, everything. You know, gonna fall, you know, let's give it an 8.0 flat, you know, the B- range. Now, story-wise, what you're looking at here is 2 years after Tales of Symphonia. It's a lighthearted, charming adventure, which has a very annoying at first main character, Emil. Thankfully, he starts to man up as the game progresses, but that is the problem, how the game progresses. It is a very tediously slow pace. In fact, it's not just that it's slow, it's the pace itself. Think about your favorite movie, and if you were to watch 10 minutes at a time, then pause it for 10 minutes and be forced to just sit there during that 10 minutes of nothing. That's what this game reminds me of. It's just got these horrible gaps in pacing. And on top of that, the story is very linear. There's no different routes to go about ways. You know, you're on that roller coaster again, like the gameplay there. So, thankfully, there are some really neat concepts. There's a pretty big plot twist or two, which caught me off guard. I thought it was awesome. But the pacing weighs this down. And unfortunately, this game doesn't take itself seriously enough. A whole love affair between the two main characters starts off amusing. In fact, most characters in this game start off amusing, but unfortunately they're one-trick ponies, and they do kind of dole out with how it's paced. If they changed up a little bit quicker, I'd give this a better score, but as it is, how the story moves along, and you'll know if you do pick up the game, you'll see where I'm coming from. It's going to be getting a 7.5. It doesn't do enough cool to make up for how much it does wrong in the ways of how it tells the story. As an entire product, Tales of Symphonia Dawn of the New World is an average RPG, which isn't the worst thing in the world. I mean, Wii hasn't gotten any RPG treatment, so in that sense, this is a treat. Now, Tales of Symphonia fans of the original, you're going to find a lot more than other role-playing game fans are, because you are going to explore. You don't explore in this game. You're going to visit previous locations. You're going to see familiar faces, and it does tie into the original story, though it's not nearly as good as the original story. More of a spin-off, as it has been advertised. So, how do I recommend this game? I recommend this game hands down to all Tales of Symphonia fans. There's too much Tales of Symphonia to deny here. As for you other RPG fans, how hungry are you for a Japanese role-playing game? This game does come at a time where there's not too many high-quality JRPGs being put out on the market immediately, so it offers you some good combat, a plot twist or two worth seeing once, and some characters that, while can be annoying, do have some charm behind them, and there is some humor. It's a lighthearted adventure that's poorly paced. That doesn't mean it's a horrible game. It's an average Japanese role-playing game, and it might satisfy your appetite while you wait for something else, like the new Final Fantasy, etc. Now, for those not a fan of the genre, avoid this game like the plague. It magnifies problems with the genre to an extensive amount. This game is for Tales of Symphonia fans, starving JRPG fans, and Pokemon fans. That's right, you play Pokemon. I mean, you catch monsters. So, anyways, as a whole, it gets a 7.8, a C+. Thanks for watching. Leave your feedback, your hate mail, whatever it is you do, and I'll catch you guys next time.